not a betting girl, but I would just bet that your most rewarding Rotary moment has been in service to the recipients of our projects. I remember going to the campo and meeting the leaders and the cooks and the craftspeople. We rave about the campo food, but it's the people who touch me most. Our presenters today, Carolyn Sinceri and her merry crew of people from Los Ricos de Abajo, will share more about the transformative power of us in the field. And I'm pretty certain that their story will bring back good memories for each of us who have been to the campo, and it will rekindle in us and kindle in those who haven't yet been to the campo a desire to go and experience it firsthand. At Rotary, we talk about projects, but each of them has people behind them. And Rotarians are some of them, friends are some of them, and campesinos are many of them. So as well as the formal and informal leaders out there in other organizations like Carolyn will talk about. Service takes many forms, and some of it is the sweat of our brow. You saw people in the river this weekend. For others, it's advising leaders about how to go about with our projects. And for yet others, it's the privilege of donating the essential pesos it takes to work with our projects. It takes all three, but since we can't run out right this minute to volunteer, and since we can't advise anybody today, I'm going to invite you to donate your pesos to our projects. And I'm going to thank you in advance for giving generously, because as you know, our pesos draw millions of actual dollars to our projects. Many thanks.
Thank you, Robin. Okay, Ron Lennox is going to come up and talk about our Citizen of the Year. And Ron?
He's going like this to reach the microphone. So I'm going to bring you up to date on the Citizen of the Year. You know that we have done this, we have recognized someone in the community that has emulated our values, bringing Rotary values, but they're not a Rotarian. So the only criteria is that you have changed lives within San Miguel and that you're not a Rotarian. And I'm happy to say that we've had more, I've been doing this now for the last 4 years. We've had more nominations than we ever have had before. We have 10 people and 10 highly qualified, wonderful people that were nominated by all of you. And then last Sunday, the board of directors got together and whittled that down or selected the 3 most qualified. And all of the members should have received a bio for those 3 members in your email. No, the ballot comes. We already received the bios went out yesterday. If you have not received the bio, please see one of us on the committee and we'll resend it to you. Oh, there it is right there. 3 nominated. The finalist bios are out. The email ballots will be sent to all 49 members today, sometime later this afternoon. And I hope you read them ahead of time because there's a time limit. We're giving you until Friday to choose one of the 3 or to choose all 3. The way the ballot works is you'll have 3 people on the list and you put down your first choice, your second choice, and your third choice. And it's a weighted average. So you don't have to receive all, let's see, the second place for you could be the winner. Right, so it's a weighted average. You must put down all 3. You cannot vote for just one person. So you have to put down your first choice, second choice, and third choice. Return it to Friday, please, because we have a lot of work to do after that. We need to contact all the 3 people, let them know who the winner was. Our committee has to get together, and now we can start really planning the event that happens next door in the theater on the 2nd of April. So we have to get the plaque going, we have to get the resume going. So there's a whole bunch of things that couldn't happen until we have the name of the person that won. So please cooperate with us and get your ballot in by Friday, and that's it. Oh, people on the guest list. The next thing will be the guest list that will go out. So we need to contact the winner, see how many people, how many seats they want. We always ask the past Citizen of the Year to come and to join. It'll be 49 members. So we'll be sending out to the 49 members whether you would like a seat in the theater. Only if we have leftover seats will we open it up to your guests and to people at large. So we really want, if you're coming, we'd love to see you, but if you, on the fence, you may want to give your seat to someone else, okay? So anyway, that's where we are, so look for the ballots today, later on. That's it.
Thank you, Ron. Robin, I'm going to have you come up and introduce today's speaker. Thank you very much for everyone for listening to our announcements today. Please give your attention to Robin Lovin.
Remarkable results. That's what we're known for, but we're not the only ones in our very high-achieving community who make them. Our guest today, Carolyn Simsarian and her merry crew, whom she'll introduce, are going to tell you more about the last 20 years that they have been working in Los Ricos de Abajo. Los Ricos, as you know, means the rich. De Abajo means not so much in this case. She and Diane Hart and the good folks at Feed the Hungry have been achieving remarkable results there, tutoring kids, providing scholarships to children, etc., so that they don't have to immigrate to the United States or migrate to the United States to work. They can work right here in their home country and enrich it. Diane Hart wrote a book about their remarkable results that you can buy on Amazon or today afterward, right out here. It's called The School on the Other Side of the River, and it documents many, many collaborations that have made all of this possible. Today, she will have the school principal with her and a student who's one of 12 currently in university from that one little community, and a university graduate who's a poet, an author, and a lawyer. Their remarkable stories are inspiring, and so please give a listen and help me welcome Carolyn Simsarian.
Thank you, Robin, for that wonderful introduction. Hello, it's great to be here. I'm a great admirer of Rotary and all you do. Your fabulous programs that support social justice in San Miguel and worldwide. Today, Lucha, Yesenia, Miguel, and myself are here to share our experience and connection to a small rural village outside of San Miguel. Change is inevitable. We are here to share change in the village of Los Ricos de Abajo, where approximately 480 people live. That number is up from about 232 when the program, under the auspice of Feed the Hungry, began 19 years ago. My husband, John, who's with us today, and I have volunteered in the program for 17 of those years. The original purpose of the program was to teach English. Over the years of the program's existence, it has grown to be much more than that. I'm here to also talk about a book that is a record of the growth of the program, a collection of stories of the participants, the principal, the director of the program, the volunteers, and the village. The book, The School on the Other Side of the River, The Educational Journey of Los Ricos de Abajo, was published this fall by Wild Rising Press. 3 years ago, while riding back from a day of tutoring at Los Ricos, co-author Diane Walter Hart and I were talking about all that had happened, taking stock of where we were. We asked ourselves, who would think when we started with the program that we would be where we are today? The program provides scholarships to anyone from Los Ricos. Usually we have about 11 in the 6th grade who wishes to go on beyond 6th grade, including middle school, high school, and university. Today, this is 2024, Because of these scholarships and support provided by the program, we now have 7 college graduates with 12 currently in university. In the past, about half the graduates of the primary school, the 6th graders, went on to 7th grade. Today, all of them do. In the past, yay! In the past, no boy from Los Ricos had ever graduated from high school. And on the cover of the book, oh, that's another student who's now in veterinary school in San Luis Potosí, which is one of the best veterinary schools in Mexico. In the past, Jose Manuel, who's also on the cover, is pictured the first boy to graduate from high school. And all of this from a primary school, which today has 55 students in grades 1 through 6. Co-author Diane Hart, for many of these years, was the director of the volunteer program. In 2020, just as the pandemic hit, we started the book. Our goal was to create a record of why and how the program grew, hoping it might inspire others to start similar initiatives and also to be a guide of sorts. We wanted many viewpoints, perspectives, and voices in the book. We put out the call and were excited and a bit overwhelmed by the response. Authorship belongs to many. The retired teacher, Lucha, Yesenia, a student, poet, and now lawyer, who are here with us today, as well as many, many volunteers who shared their stories. The village of Los Ricos welcomed us and supports us with wonderful lunches and every year the closing fiesta, which continue, and the village continues its moral support and interest. The program, like the book, has been successful because of this pulling together of people to make it happen. You see on the cover a picture of Maria de la Luz Jimenez Rodriguez, better known as Lucha, the principal of the elementary school. The picture shows Lucha, as she says in younger days, on what was a pedestrian bridge which had lost its planks. When the river was a raging torrent, intrepid Lucha got to school on this tightrope. The tightrope is symbolic of the balancing act, of taking risks, of finding a way, of reaching for handholds, one step at a time. In the book, you'll find Lucha's story as she directed the school at Los Ricos for the entire 30 years of her teaching career, and that's very unusual in Mexico. If someone's assigned to a school in the Campo, they'll usually teach 2 years and put in for a transfer into the city. But Lucha loved Los Ricos and the people, and she stayed. So Lucha's going, now I get confused. Okay, Lucha's going to read in Spanish a little bit from the book, and then I'll read the translation. Please give Lucha a warm welcome.
Buenos días. My name is María de la Luz, más conocida como Lucha. ¿Sí? Cuando yo llegué a la escuela de los Ricos de Abajo, parecía haber sido olvidada por las autoridades gubernamentales y de educación. Poco visitaban la escuela o casi nunca. La escuela no contaba con electricidad, no tenía malla alrededor, No había las necesidades básicas para los estudiantes. Además, Naciones Unidas era una escuela marginada en cuestión de apoyos y parecía bloqueada en cuanto a su progreso. El personal de la escuela no estaba comprometido con su trabajo y el encargado de la escuela me expresó que no era necesario para los estudiantes aprender grandes cosas de ciencia. En el futuro ellos solo contarían su ganado y, en efecto, eso era lo que los padres pensaban. Sus únicas expectativas es que sus hijos aprendieran a leer un poco y después los sacaban de la escuela para que les ayudaran en las actividades de la agricultura. Los profesores trabajaban sin entusiasmo, pensando que su único deber era completar sus 5 horas laborales. Algunos profesores que explicaban sus clases en el pizarrón ni siquiera notaban que los estudiantes habían salido del salón. De hecho, no había estudiantes en el salón. En realidad, hay una infinidad de historias como esta. Naciones Unidas es tridocente, que quiere decir que cuenta con 3 profesores. Solo maestros varones habían conseguido quedarse ahí. Como resultado, cuando había reuniones de padres de familia, en su mayoría eran solo hombres los que asistían. En 1995, cuando me convertí en la directora encargada, las mamás comenzaron a presentarse una tras otra. Pronto, solo las mujeres venían a las reuniones. Quisiera pensar que las mujeres se sintieron bien de que la directora fuera una mujer. Quizás los hombres pensaban que sus esposas me entenderían mejor de lo que ellos lo hacían.
So this is the English which is in the book. When I arrived at the Los Ricos de Abajo school, it seemed forgotten by the educational and governmental authorities and rarely, if ever, visited during the school year. The school did not have electricity. It did not have a fence or wall around it. It did not have toilets, which were, one could say, necessities for students. Although Naciones Unidos was a marginalized school in terms of support, above it all seemed to lack the desire to progress. The teaching staff was not committed to their work, and the person who served as director expressed, "It's not necessary for students to learn great things, since in the future they will only count their livestock." In effect, that's what the parents thought too, although all they expected was their children would learn to read a little, and then the parents would take them out of school to help with agricultural activities. The teachers worked without enthusiasm, as if their only duty was to faithfully complete their 5-hour schedule. Sometimes a teacher who was explaining something by writing on the board wouldn't even notice that everyone had left. There were no students in the classroom. In truth, there are endless anecdotes like that. Naciones Unidos was a tridocent, which meant it had 3 teachers, but only male teachers had taught there. As a result, when there were meetings of parents, it was mostly men who attended. In 1995, when I became director, you would say principal, mothers started to show up, one after another, and soon only women attended the meetings. I'd like to think that the women felt good that the director was a woman, Or perhaps the men thought their wives would understand me better than they did. Now, one time a few years ago, maybe just before she retired, there was an exam given in the state of Guanajuato for all the teachers, 14,000 teachers. And Lucha placed 14th out of 14,000. That's the caliber of person who was teaching in this little school in the Campo. Co-author Diane Hart, for many of these years, was the director of this volunteer program. In 2020, just as the pandemic hit, oh, I think I've read that. Okay, I'm sorry about this reading business. Okay. Looking at the central photo of Lucha on the tightrope, we see what a metaphor it is for the growth of the program and for us, taking risks, putting ourselves out there, one foot in front of the other, not sure how it's going to land, deciding what we are going to do, but not taking over someone else's stuff, balancing and feeling our way. It didn't all happen at once. As Diane said, we took baby steps, grew where we saw the need, pulled back when it didn't work, and continued to show up year after year, balancing on the tightrope, inventing as we went along, asking what was needed. Diane, a fluent Spanish speaker, and Principal Lucha became fast friends. Volunteers might have ideas, see something they wanted to try and implement, but Diane would speak to Lucha. Could a group of prepa students attend the San Miguel Writers Conference for a week in San Miguel? Lucha would then discuss it with the mothers, who made the ultimate decision, yes or no. First to Lucha, from Lucha to the mothers. So it was with everything in the program initiated. We credit this close communication and rapport with a large part of the success of the program. Not imposing anything, but discussing, reaching consensus, and working together. Yesenia Balthazar Ramirez, pictured on the cover of the book when she was in the Los Ricos primary school, was an early, strong contributor to the book. She's a poet, author, university graduate, and now a lawyer. She will share some of her thoughts of growing up in Los Ricos. Please welcome Yesenia.
Hello, my name is Yesenia, and I'm a lawyer. Thanks for the program. And the program is not only the program for me, because some members, how Diana Walta, Caroline, Douglas Lord, Jackie Donnelly, Carrie Schroeder, and Jeff, and another people, they not only support economy for continue and concluding my study. No, they give me tips, always tips, and more than 15 years. And they give me many love, and now I can to say they more than member of the program, they was and is my adoptive family. And now I read a little my contributing in this book. There are people who lament living in such a place as Los Ricos de Abajo. They say we suffer, live with limitation and no opportunities, surrounded by people who fight. That's what they say when they don't appreciate the beautiful of being born in a community full of animals, plants, and beautiful landscapes. Or if they haven't learned to love the land where they were born, or if they sell the land inherited by their parents' land that their families worked on generation after generation. Our childhood wasn't easy, but at the same time it was wonderful. We started working from a young age in the fields. To do that, we had to get up at 6 in the morning to feed the cows that belonged to Pedro, my dad's cousin. He had a house in the country but lived in the city. So we took care of his cows and horse. When both my brothers and I finished this work, we ran back home, and then my sister and I, or sometimes even all 5 of us, went to the mill at Doña Graciela's house with our buckets of nixtamal. She had a device that worked with gasoline and made the process of converting nixtamal into tortillas, though easier. Later, we took it home for my mother to prepare tortillas. Graciela had us scheduled to grind the nixtamal, and if we didn't arrive at the right time, we had to go with my grandmother, Salud, to grind the nixtamal in a hand mill where the energy used was earned on. Definitely more cheerings. That's why we always try to be at Graciela on time.
And that's the wonderful thing that we have found with our students, that when they wrote about when the program came to Los Ricos and how it helped them and so on, but then they also talk about how they grew up in this wonderful countryside and they wouldn't change any of it. And that's a wonderful thing. Thank you so much, Yesenia. Now we'll hear from Jose Miguel Jacinto Ramirez. Miguel graduated from the Los Ricos Primary School, like Yesenia. Miguel went on to Secundaria and is now scheduled to graduate in December with a university degree in accounting. And he's about to begin his social service portion. Miguel continues to check in with us on program day, and today you'll hear about the kind of transition a student makes when they go from a small setting on to university studies. Miguel gave this inspirational talk to our prepa students, letting them know what to expect. He will read in Spanish and paragraph by paragraph, and I will read it in English. Please welcome Miguel.
Hola, buenos días. Buenos días. My name is Miguel. Mucho gusto. ¿Ahora sí me escuchan mejor? ¿Sí, verdad? A ver, ahora sí. Dice, experiencia de ser un estudiante universitario, cambio de mentalidad. Esta experiencia comienza el día que decidí estudiar contaduría pública. La razón es que me encanta la parte financiera del pago de impuestos. Es una muy buena carrera e invito a los estudiantes a estudiarla si están interesados en los negocios. Recomendaría a los jóvenes de sexto semestre que tomen esta decisión con la mente clara y tranquila. Porque es una decisión muy importante. Estresarse no es bueno, porque puedes hacer una mala elección y esto puede causar una pérdida de tiempo. No querrás tener pensamientos negativos sobre ti y tu inteligencia. Te lo digo yo por experiencia.
This experience begins the day I decided to study public accounting. The reason is I love the financial part of paying taxes. It's a good career, and I invite students to study it if you are interested in business. I would recommend young people in the 6th semester to make this decision with a clear, calm mind because it's a very important decision. Stressing is not good because you can make a bad choice, and this can cause a waste of time. You don't want to have negative thoughts about yourself and your intelligence. I'm telling you this from experience.
Los 2 primeros trimestres en la universidad tuve dificultad para adaptarme a las clases. Fue estresante para mí. Pero lo más importante es no rendirse. Si cometes un error, ¿te darás por vencido? Lo mismo sucede con la carrera que uno elige al principio. Dudarás si realmente te gusta y tendrás otros pensamientos negativos. Con el paso del tiempo, los primeros 4 meses te darás cuenta que hiciste una buena elección. Tus compañeros de clases que antes eran desconocidos serán tus amigos y te formarán parte o cambiarán tu forma de pensar. Serás capaz de resolver problemas y manejarás situaciones y aprenderás a actuar como adulto que trabaja. Se abrirán puertas a nuevas experiencias que son positivas, como cuando recibes una pequeña remuneración por ayudar a una persona con un problema que tiene que ver tu carrera, y puedo decirte por mi experiencia, que se sintió bastante bien.
The first 2 quarters in university, I had difficulty adjusting to classes. It was very stressful for me. But the important thing is not to give up. If you make a mistake, you'll feel like giving up. The same thing happens with the career that one chooses at the beginning. You will doubt if you really like it and have other negative thoughts. With the passage of time, or the first 4 months, you'll realize that you made a good choice. Your classmates who were unknown will be your friends, and your thinking will change. You will become better able to problem solve and handling situations, and will learn how to act as a working adult. Doors will open to new experiences that are positive, such as when you receive a small remuneration for helping a person with a problem, and that's to do with your career. I can tell you from experience, it felt quite good.
Nunca tienes que quedarte con un solo conocimiento o carrera. Expande a diferentes áreas que te llamen la atención. Puede que te hagas administrador y luego quieras estudiar gastronomía. El chiste aquí es devorar el conocimiento, estar abierto a nuevas experiencias y aprender cosas nuevas. Mantén tu mente abierta y concluyo con una frase que dice, cito, ¿cómo quieres llegar al invierno de tu vida? ¿Quieres llegar como el señor de la película de Karate Kid, bien relajado de la vida, sin nada que le moleste o sin preocupaciones? ¿O quieres llegar con preocupaciones por falta de dinero, medicamentos, amargado y molesto con la vida? Ahora, mientras seas joven, amplía tu forma de pensar, devora conocimientos, sé respetuoso, responsable y puntual. Siempre da un extra en todas tus actividades diarias. Ten hambre de hacer cosas nuevas y nunca digas, no puedo. Porque en esta vida todo es posible, siempre dando un extra de lo que te propones. Y nunca olvides quienes te apoyaron en el camino llamado la experiencia de ser un universitario.
You never have to stay with a single knowledge or career. Expand to different areas that catch your attention. It may be that you become an administrator and then you want to study gastronomy. The joke here is to devour knowledge, be open to new experiences, and learning new things. Keep an open mind. I conclude with a phrase of Carlos Castuga that says, and I quote, "How do you want to get to the winter of your life? Do you want to arrive as the Lord of the Karate Kid movies, well relaxed from life without anything bothering you, or not having any worries? Or do you want to arrive with worries about insufficient money or medicine, bitter and annoyed with life? Now, while you are young, expand your way of thinking, devour knowledge, be respectful, responsible, punctual, and always give extra in all your daily activities. Be hungry to do new things. Never say, I can't, because in this life, everything is possible. Always give extra of what you propose. Never forget those who supported you on the path called the experience of being a university student. And Jose Miguel doesn't forget us. He comes back, and he really is a wonderful role model and inspiration to our students. Thank you so much, Jose Miguel. The readings are just a taste of what is in the book. The first chapter, entitled A Man with a Truck, tells the story of Feed the Hungry's involvement with Los Ricos. Bob Haas, who was a volunteer driver for Feed the Hungry, offered Lucha a ride to school and asked, "What do you need?" When he heard children were fainting from hunger, Bob promised Feed the Hungry would help Los Ricos. So that began Feed the Hungry's long and important involvement with the village. The Michael Chadwick family sponsored the Feed the Hungry kitchen and Comedor at Los Ricos. Every year, we hold an orientation for volunteer teachers at the Feed the Hungry headquarters. It's a reunion, a homecoming, touching base, reconnecting with this important organization. The stories go on and on. It was important to pull all the stories and voices together. So it happened. The book was published this fall. Diane and her husband, Tom, had to return to the States, and Diane and I put the book together, zooming back and forth. The book is full of inspirational stories of how this program grew by everyone becoming involved, listening carefully to each other, teaching lessons, learning lessons, and achieving amazing learning outcomes. Now, if we have time, we'll have a Q&A, and afterwards a book signing.
Okay. Well, we don't. Thank you very much. Thank you. We don't really have time for Q&A, but they are going to be here and have their book available. Thank you very much for joining us today. I wish to give all of you a mug and maybe get a picture with you, but I'm going to ring the bell first. Okay? So thank you very much for being here. They got books. Stick around. Talk to them if you have any questions. Thank you. Everyone, wonderful day.